guys, it's Amy and welcome to the channel, or welcome back. I hope that you're doing well. Let me know how you're doing in the comments below. Today we are doing another reading vlog and I'm filming this filming the reading vlog, so I know what's going to happen in the future for you. And we read 3 books that you'll have to stay till the end to know what I thought of them, but we also had a DNF in here, so you get to see how that goes. But I had a really great time reading these books, even though this past week or so that I'm filming this was a little bit challenging. I had some health things come up, and that's gonna happen. This is definitely a look into my real everyday life, and I do have like health flare-ups, I deal with migraines, the whole gambit. So this is gonna give you kind of a look into that, but we got all the things. We've got the reading, we've got going to the library and getting coffee. So yes, we get out of the house. It's not just at the house. And I had a really fun time with my husband hanging out and doing that. So I hope that you guys enjoy this too. But let me know what you're reading in the comments and let's get into it. Hello. Hi, I am getting ready, obviously. I am getting ready for a doctor's appointment, which I've kind of been putting off filming because I've just been really anxious about it the last few days. I wanted to start this reading vlog talking about what I am currently reading. I'm reading an arc of The Emily Adventures by Martha Wells. If you're familiar with her Murderbot Diaries, this is like her YA steampunk fantasy, and I believe it's like a rewrite or a re-release because there are original versions from like 2014. So this is like 2 books in 1 volume. It's a duology, and so far it's been pretty good. I've been a little slow reading it and I need to pick up the pace. It comes out May 13th, so reading that. And I can definitely see it's still her writing style. The magic is kind of like sci-fi feeling. It's like magical ships. Like there's magic and spells, but it's using aether, as they're calling it. These currents of aether, of magical energy, to travel to the center of the earth, to go on this expedition. They're trying to find people. A lot has happened in a short amount of time. It's YA, but at first it started to feel middle grade just because of the age of the main character and just kind of the feel of the character. But then it was introducing more mature topics that would be more YA. It's definitely been an interesting experience reading it, so we'll see where it goes. And then I am listening to First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. So this is a romance and kind of a Sleepless in Seattle inspired story. It's about a 12-year-old girl who calls into a radio show that's love advice and music. It was kind of Delilah vibes, if you guys remember Delilah. It's a man hosting the radio show, and this girl is calling for dating advice for her mom, who hasn't dated in 10 years. The radio show's kind of failing, and the guy is not interested. He's kind of losing his belief in love because of all the negative calls that he gets from people. This call kind of makes them go viral. And so the manager of the show, or manager of the station, is we're gonna get this woman on the show and you're gonna help her find a boyfriend, basically. But it's been really funny so far. I've been really enjoying it. So curious to see how the storyline goes. I think we can see where the ending is gonna be, but curious the plot points going through the story. Hopefully we'll get a couple of audiobooks in, and then definitely finishing The Emily Adventures. So I'll check in with you soon. Hi. So I have been listening to the book and I am 64%, 70% through. And First Time Caller is so good. It has been so good. it's like forced proximity, them having to like be on a radio show together, and the banter is really good. It's just across the board like so, and like with the radio show, it feels very nostalgic. I grew up listening to the radio. It was much more like a part of like daily life. Now we have streaming and everything, but I don't know, it's just really fun having that. It is like 6:50 at night, and my husband just left to go to a dinner meeting. So I have got some Mexican takeout. This isn't all mine, but I've got some Mexican takeout. I have got the audiobook. I am probably going to do my nails because I really need to redo mine. And I think I'm just going to have kind of like a girly night.
Lips cork up. I really can't, can I? I shake my head. Nope. I loop both arms around him and squeeze. I rest my chin in the middle of his chest, staring up at him.
The secret to getting fake nails off is using dental floss. You just kind of wedge it underneath, and then it slides up under there and you can pop them off. It's a lot less painless. This book is a bit spicy. I'm not really one for spicy stuff, so just know that there are like a chapter or two like worth of spicy stuff, and I'm like, I still got like a little over 2 hours, but just be aware, it does get pretty spicy, so. It is the next day. I finished my nails. I don't know how it looked on camera last night, but it gives like kind of confetti vibes with like all the different colors. That's what it makes me think of. I like the way the nails turned out, and I am very tired. Drinking some iced coffee right now. Very tired. I have not been sleeping. Like, I am in general like an insomniac. Last night was rough too. I wanted to give you a reading update. I am like at 94% with First Time Caller, and it has been so good. I have really enjoyed it, and I think it's like 44-ish minutes left. I was making some notes to remember what to say, and I have just in all caps, the yearning. Just the yearning between the two characters, like, it's like they want to be together, they've got their own shortcomings, especially the male main character. This is definitely about a man making changes after being called out. And I've seen people talk about, like, with Pride and Prejudice, it's like, okay, why people love Mr. Darcy? It's like, because someone, called him out on his crap, and he accepted it, recognized his wrongs, and made things right. And that's what women want. And I feel like if you like a Mr. Darcy, you might like this guy. It's just been really good. I'm really enjoying it. I know I will finish that today. But I got my audiobook with my Book of the Month subscription, and I picked Frederick Bachman's new book, and that is My Friends. I'm curious how this is going to go because it says it's a funny and moving story about 4 teens whose friendship creates a bond so powerful it changes a stranger's life 25 years later. With Frederick Bachman, I've read Beartown and it was incredible, but it was definitely like emotional and intense, very heartbreaking at times. But this says it's funny and moving, so we'll see how that goes. But I might be listening to that once I finish First Time Caller. But I really need to get cracking on the Emily Adventures, and like, it's a cool story and everything. I just don't feel myself like drawn to reading it. And I hate feeling that way about a book. It's a good book. I think it's more of me just not necessarily being drawn to reading it because I'm thinking about other books. But I definitely need to get cracking on that. But today I'm, like I said, fighting the tired, and I really need to do some laundry. Our kitchen is a disaster. There's just a lot that I need to do. I feel like I'm going to have to kind of fight through the tired and make things happen. So we will make it happen. Hi guys, I am here in my overalls and I'm just working through chores, doing the laundry, trying to work on the kitchen. The kitchen sink has been clogged and I've been trying to work on it. It's been a pain in the butt. Don't dump your sourdough starter that doesn't work down your kitchen sink. Yeah. Learned that the hard way. But I wanted to give a reading update, and I finished First Time Caller, and it was so good. It was so good. I had so much fun with it, and like, I don't know, just B.K. Borson just writes really authentic characters, even though like it's a rom-com and there may be outlandish things, you kind of have to suspend your disbelief, whatever you want to call it. It is much more like realistic and just like real characters with flaws, and I just really appreciate that. But it had a very sweet ending, even though it had like the third act breakup kind of thing. I feel like most rom-coms nowadays have that, but it was still really good. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it. I'll let you know by the end of the video. But I also started My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I listened to like 4 chapters of it, and so far it's really good. It is definitely like heart-wrenching. I know his other work is. I've only read Beartown, but I know just from that experience alone, just kind of the themes and tone of his writing, but it still like has wit and humor, and he just has a very like colorful way of writing things. It's not like overly flowery, but he just has really great like analogies that he uses, and it just kind of expands your way of thinking, and I really like that. But it is definitely got some heart-wrenching stuff in there. We're dealing with like foster children. Check your trigger warnings definitely with this book. It's already like touching on sensitive things, and I'm sure there'll be more as the book goes on. We're kind of having like a dual storyline, like there's a future storyline and a past storyline, and kind of seeing how they overlap and affect each other. So definitely excited to see where that's going to go. I really need to get cracking on the Emily adventures. So I am probably going to sit here and read on my Kindle for a little bit. Got him right here. These are my stickers. Gonna be cracking on that and fighting the clog in the kitchen sink. It's like pouring like drain cleaner and then doing hot boiling water. It's gotten better. So we'll see. We'll see. I am so tired. I don't know, I feel like my energy just like crashed, which happens. I had to like go lay down for a little bit. But y'all, I am struggling to read the Emily adventures. I've gotten a little bit further. I think I'm like 40% in. So it's like there's 2 books in one. So I'm close to finishing the first one. But it's just not really doing it for me. The world building is really interesting. We're on this kind of crazy adventure, but I'm just not really feeling it. And I hate that. I don't know if it's me or I don't know, because I've been really into like First Time Caller and just getting into the new Frederick Bachman. I think it might be the book, and I don't know, I hate that, but that's where we're at. I'm wondering like what to do going forward with the books that I'm reading. We'll see what we get up to, but I'm trying to finish up laundry. Don't you hate it when you're like drying something and then it doesn't fully dry, like stuff is still damp and you gotta keep keep it going, like just the little things that get on your nerves. So my husband's gonna be home from work soon. He's going to be streaming. He and his friend do like video game news on Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Nerd Cave Network on YouTube. Definitely go check them out. I do have some pen pal letters that I need to write, and I got some more in the mail that I need to get. So I might do that tonight in addition to like trying to put clothes away, but I'm still trying to dry stuff. That's kind of where we're at, and I will check in with you guys in a little bit. Good morning. I am finishing with breakfast and I got a DoorDash coffee this morning. I'm kind of raspy this morning, so I apologize. Hot coffee helps. But I wanted to give a reading update, and I think I'm going to DNF officially the Emily Adventures. I just feel like the writing is structurally and just like grammar and things like that, it is sound. And I appreciate Martha Wells' like vocabulary and the depth of like the kind of sci-fi magic and everything, but I feel like it is struggling as far as tone. It doesn't know what it wants to be, in that there's moments when it feels like middle grade, and then there's moments when it feels like YA. While I appreciate like the complexity of the magic and everything, I feel like more focus was on that rather than like developing characters. I feel like the characters are very flat, including the main character. It's just like, oh, I'm just a spunky girl and that's all there is to my personality. I need a little bit more. Like there is some backstory, but it's fairly vague. And it's just, I'm a kid that, you know, ran away and I'm trying to become an adventurer. There's something there, but it's just, it doesn't feel as substantive as I feel like it could be. And especially when it's like this young woman who's with a bunch of adults who feel like they're kind of her caretakers. It's like this weird confusion about whether it's middle grade or YA. And I just find that troubling as I'm reading it. And I got like 40-ish% the way through. And I was just like, I'm just not feeling this. Like I was having a hard time paying attention. It wasn't grabbing my attention, even with like, there's action and there's, you know, exciting things happening, and that still wasn't grabbing my attention. I hope that that makes sense, me kind of rambling about it. That's kind of where I'm at with it right now, unfortunately. I am going to continue with My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I got a little bit further with that yesterday, and it's an intense story, and I'm curious to see where it's going to go, but I'm enjoying it, even though it is intense. And yeah, I'm going to finish my coffee, then I'm going to get showered and dressed because I need to film another video today. We'll see what else we get to the rest of the day, but I will be continuing to listen to My Friends as I'm going throughout my day. And about to film, but I was filming like a dab of the day, like drink, outfit, and what you're reading, the book you're reading. So I got boots on right now, but I'm gonna take them off. But I've got this, I'm with the band t-shirt with like band books on it. I got this and the skirt at a thrift store recently, and I was very excited when I found this shirt. But I'm going to set up for filming, and I'll be back. Hi everybody, it's Amy and welcome to the channel or welcome back. I hope that you're doing well. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. Hello, I have just finished filming and am putting books away back on the shelf. And I need to edit now, but it is Friday afternoon, so probably gonna go to dinner with my husband when he gets home. So I don't know if I will film anymore today, but I have an idea for potentially another book that I can read in this vlog. An author's agent reached out to me and offered, in exchange for a review, to read this YA fantasy, and it is by Michael R. Miller. Actually, they gave me 2 books, but that is the first book of the Songs of Chaos series, Ascendant. How cool is this cover? Really cool. And then there's a novella, Last Stand of Stone Fist. This book is over 400 pages. The font is fairly big, and it being YA, I think I could get through it. So this might be my read for the weekend and kind of going into next week. So I've been needing to read this. I've had it for a couple of weeks now, but I'm excited to read this. I definitely love YA fantasy, and it definitely gives like classic kind of fantasy vibes with dragons and everything. So I'm excited to get into this one. So I think in addition to my audiobook with my friends, I'm going to read that. And speaking of my friends, oh my gosh, it's so good. It is so emotional and devastating at times, but still like funny. I am really surprised about the direction of the story. I don't want to give too much away. I feel like the more you kind of experience his stories without too much detail, it's just like the more rich the experience is. But it definitely has like intense things and potentially triggers. We're definitely talking about death and loss. There's alcoholism, there is domestic violence, so like there's intense things, but Bachman just has a way of writing it in such a beautiful and relatable way. Like I feel like every other sentence that he has is something that's quotable, like just that relates to life, and it really blows me away. Like he does it so like casually, and like even though it has like these big statements about life, it's done in just kind of this nonchalant, casual kind of way where I feel like anybody could relate to what he's trying to say. You don't have to be some like scholar to understand it. And I feel like that's a difficult thing to achieve, to make a story that relatable and just kind of these ideas about life just flow on the page. I'm really impressed by his writing. It could be a 5-star read, we'll see. But so far I've had some really good reads of this one. So we've had First Time Caller. I know we had a DNF, but between First Time Caller and my friends, like I'm pretty happy with the direction we're going. So hopefully Ascendant will live up to my expectations. Hi, hello. I got a new face here. If you haven't seen my other videos, this is my husband, Zach.
Hello.
Hi. So we are dressed and about to go and have kind of a bookish day. We are going to the library, gonna get coffee, lunch, do all the things. Definitely going to the library, so we will take you along with us.
Let's go.
Let's go. come to the library, I try to reference my Goodreads. I also try to just pick things out from the shelf, but I've literally got over like 1,000 books that I want to read on Goodreads. But I found a pirate book and we're in the YA section. I'm thinking of a cozy fantasy, so trying to look for that. But yeah, I've got quite the list going on, so I've read some of these, but yeah, we'll see what we can find. I've heard good things about this YA cozy fantasy, so I'm going to try this one, and then I think we're going to head upstairs. So we've looked through the whole YA section, so I'm going to check out the adult section. So Zach likes to, when he finds like series out of order at the library, he likes to reorder them. So we're fixing which is probably alphabetical, but
we're at least getting the first, because I don't know these yet, but at least these bad boys are now in order. Amy's a weirdo, guys. Y'all don't know that yet. Amy is really, really weird. That's why I married her, okay?
I gotta pick this series back up because it's really good, and I kind of shelved it for a while, so I'm getting this one too.
She knows she was going to get shamed if she didn't pick it back up, because that series is good. It's like honey, sweet nectar.
Hi, it is a new day. I didn't film the rest of the weekend. I was just kind of spending time with Zach and everything, so didn't want to film. It is Monday of the week. I lost a few nails for the weekend. Need to redo my nails, but I am not feeling well today. I went to the doctor this past week, and when I had the flu, I've mentioned that in some other videos, but I had the flu and I think some stuff got into my chest, and like I've been having a bigger like asthma flare up and still coughing and all of that. So they gave me some medicine. So it's like on top of just like chronic illness, fatigue and stuff like that, I'm dealing with that as well. So even though it was like a pretty low-key weekend, the rest of the weekend, like, I don't know, I still was worn out. So I did a little bit of reading over the weekend, but I had started Ascendant, and I'm on like chapter 13. It's been really good so far. I definitely am getting like kind of like classic Chosen One, dragon vibes. We are following our main character Holt, and he lives in this kingdom where dragon riders basically are like the protectors of the land, and they're fighting back what is called the Scourge, which are these like giant insect-like animals, and they're very scary, like kind of like wasp sounding. It's very interesting. He lives in a place where it's like everything is like there's rules, and just the way things are, the way it's always been is how it's going to be. And like everybody's last name is like an occupation. Like his last name is Cook. So his father is like the kingdom cook for like the nobles who are the dragon riders. He is like going to be an apprentice training to be a cook. I don't want to give too much else away, but I think the cover kind of gives you the vibe of like where things are going to go. But he really admires the dragon riders and he's always wanted to be one. And it's kind of gotten to a part where I don't want to give the story away. I'm obsessed with this cover. Like the art is fantastic. Really enjoying it, and I am going to continue reading. I've got a grocery order on the way and we'll have to deal with that. Gonna be reading this and just kind of chilling out. So, yeah. Hi. So it is near like the end of the day and I am making dinner for Zach to come home, and I got to chapter 28 and it has just been so good. I had some credits on Audible, so I wanted to try out the audiobook and kind of immersion read, and the narrator does a really good job. He does all different voices. The dragon's voice is so cute. And speaking of dragons, I know earlier I didn't give too much away, but I wanted to read the back of the book and see what it actually said. So Holt, our main character, he discovers a basically discarded dragon egg because it's damaged, and he takes pity on it, decides to save it, and it ends up hatching and being a blind dragon. He basically bonds with this dragon, and the dragon's name is Ash, and the narrator does such a great job with Ash's voice. It's kind of like raspy, and I don't know how to describe it. He just does a really good job. He calls him boy, like it's so cute. But I've gotten more into the story and definitely into like the magic system, and it is a very interesting magic system. And it's kind of like a shared magic between the dragon and the rider. It's definitely like happening quickly, and it's just very interesting, but I feel like it's well explained because we're kind of pairing like analogies of like cooking with the magic explanation, because Holt is trying to make sense of everything, and so he's kind of like comparing it to different cooking techniques and just cooking knowledge, and it's very interesting. So I feel like this is good for someone who maybe is like newer to fantasy but wants really kind of like to get into a little bit more of a chunky book. This is like over 500 pages. The font is a decent size, so it's not too bad, but this is like a 4-book series. So these are my impressions just kind of going in, but I'm at like 41% in the book. So, and this is also on Kindle Unlimited. I don't think I said that. So it's on Kindle Unlimited. You can listen to the audiobook. The audiobook is good. So all around, I feel like I'm getting a pretty good experience with this book. So that's going to be kind of it for today, and I will check in with you tomorrow, and we'll probably listen to more of My Friends. I think I'm closer to finishing that. I guess I could check. So I am like halfway with My Friends. I've got like 6.5 hours left. So hopefully we'll be able to listen to some more of that. But yeah, that's where we're at, ending the day, and I will check in with you later. Hello, I am in the bed today. I have been fighting a migraine and feeling a little bit better. I've been doing the meds, doing the like cold migraine cap. I just had some food, which helped some, but wanted to give a reading update. Ignore my messy side table. I'm about 50% through the book. I'm on chapter 33. I am really enjoying this book. I keep wanting to read it. Yeah, kind of fighting the headache and probably will turn my main light off in a minute. Gonna try to read some more today, and it'd be nice if I could get through like another like 25% of the book at least, but we will see, just depending on what I can do physically. But yeah, really, really enjoy this. Buongiorno. I am still laying in the bed. I'm on chapter 43, and things have definitely gotten interesting in the book, but I will probably read some more tonight, but my husband's going to be streaming, so I wanted to film before he got home and I catch up with him and have dinner and all of that. So I've just been off and on like fighting this migraine. I'm enjoying this book. Like, it definitely has a lot of similarities to Aragon, and I could see that maybe deter some people. Personally, I am enjoying it. It's just a really good like YA fantasy with classic fantasy tropes and vibes and dragons, and yeah, I'm just really enjoying it, and it definitely has its own unique elements as well. I think we are like 66% through, something like that. I'm not sure how far I will get in the rest of the evening, but yeah, that's where we're at right now, and I will check in with you guys later. Hey guys, it is actually a couple days later. I had a flare-up with my stomach, and I really did not feel up to filming or doing much of anything except for reading, which allowed me to finish the books that I started. And so I figured we would come get in the studio, get in the regular environment, and just kind of wrap things up. It helps me feel like I'm getting back to my kind of like normal routine, doing normal things like this. This week has just been so off kilter, which happens from time to time for me, and you know, that's just life. But I really enjoyed the books that we read in this vlog, and first up was First Time Caller, and I ended up giving that 4 stars. I think it was just a little bit spicy for me, but overall I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed kind of the nostalgic feel of like the radio show, and I really enjoy the chemistry between the 2 characters. I feel like it built organically, like them being able to kind of like bond over the show and get to know each other. So I really enjoyed it, and I definitely would recommend it. I think it's probably going to be up there in some of my higher like recommended romances. And yeah, I'm really glad that I read it. And next up was the Emily Adventures, which we ended up DNFing. But that happens, you know, it happens. But I hate doing that with an arc that I receive. I'm very thankful to receive those arcs, and I want to be able to give feedback on them. But if I'm gonna give like just straight up negative reviews and thoughts, like put that out there, I don't really like doing that. I'll mention that I DNF'd it, but I won't go into detail about it like on my, you know, social media and stuff. But here in the vlog, you saw me reading it, so I feel comfortable kind of talking more about it. And I know I gave my thoughts about it earlier, but yeah, I'm not going to be putting that out on my Goodreads or my Fable or anything, but I am required to submit a review and rating for NetGalley, where I receive my arcs. So I rate it as a 1 if I DNF'd it, and I explain why I quit the book. So it's giving them feedback. So hopefully that will help the publishers kind of see what the consensus is about the book. But yeah, I just was not happy with it, and it was just kind of unfortunate, but it happens. But we still had some other good reads in this vlog, and next up was My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I really enjoyed this book. I do feel like it dragged a little bit towards like the 80% mark of the book, but just the characters and the storyline that Bachman created, that I feel like tends to create with his books, is just so like genuine and raw, and definitely touches on like difficult things that, you know, happen in our world, but he does it in such a beautiful way where it compels you to want to read and know what's going to happen next. And I was thinking about, you know, how to describe the feel of his books, and it was like the kind of like candid conversations that you would have with someone that you want to have but maybe are afraid to have, and like just like saying things and putting things in like a way where it's like you don't have to worry about like your filter necessarily, but you can trust that person. And I feel like that is a big part of his books, is just the saying the things that, you know, people would want to say, and just being candid and honest. And if we were going to like lay out our life, because that's really what the story is kind of like laying out this kind of backstory of one of the characters and building on to other side characters. And it really is just kind of this raw look at, you know, this kind of niche part of this person's life. And it's a representation of him and the other characters, and it's just done in such a beautiful way. And it's also really humorous at the same time. I don't know how he has that duality work so well, but it's like he can make you cry and laugh in the same book. And I think to be able to do that well and make it an enjoyable story, even with tough topics, I think speaks to his talent. So I gave this 4 stars as well. I think it was just that it dragged a little bit, so it was not necessarily a perfect book for me. I think I enjoyed Beartown a little bit more as far as like the writing quality, but this was still a phenomenal book and I definitely recommend it. I just think that it went on a little long. The last book, of course, was Ascendant by Michael R. Miller. This is the first book of the Songs of Chaos series. This was so good. This was such a fun YA fantasy. It still is like serious, and it has definitely intense moments. There's definitely action and fighting, but this is just a great like classic feeling kind of chosen one dragon story. I feel like if you like Aragon, you might like this. It definitely has some elements that are similar to Aragon, but this definitely has its own like magic system and world building. I just found the characters very well written and I found them very compelling. Definitely our main character, Holt. I thought it was really clever, like how he became a dragon rider and kind of like building up the lore of dragon riders and seeing how that works. And it was done through like the partnership between him and the dragon and kind of training. And it was kind of done at this like expedited rate, which I feel like worked for us as the reader, kind of being able to quickly get kind of the world building and how the dragon riders operate and everything. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. I feel like this is easy to read, but it still feels like it is, you know, a classic feeling YA. It doesn't feel like it's dumbed down or anything. But I would say that it's easier to read maybe than Aragon. Paolini can get a little bit like flowery with his words, and he definitely has like a interesting vocabulary. I feel like this was much easier to read, but I just found this really addictive to read. I wanted to know what was going to happen next, and I really enjoyed the aspect of like having kind of this mentor trainer and also having like a fellow dragon rider in the mix. I don't want to give too much away, but I just really enjoyed the story and how it played out. I feel like it's like if you liked Aragon, but you wished there were more dragon riders present around Aragon, and you like the idea of like corrupt politics and things like that, and we definitely have a interesting villain. There's a lot of twists and turns in this story that I wasn't really expecting, and it just made it such a fun time. I definitely am looking forward to reading the rest of this series. And I kind of did like immersion reading, and so I was like listening and reading the physical. This is also on Kindle Unlimited. I probably am going to read the second book that way. I also have one of the novellas. I don't know if the novellas are on Kindle Unlimited, but this was so fantastic. I gave it 4 stars, and I would definitely recommend if you want like a classic feeling YA. So guys, that is gonna be it for this reading vlog. I really hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me this week, even though I was kind of sick and under the weather and having flare-ups and all the things. But we press on and we got to the end of the video and we had some really good reads. So let me know what you are reading right now. I definitely want to know, and I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!